Last weekend, we rang in Season 2 of Major League Rugby. As competitive as they come, round one. In fact, you could hardly argue much went wrong, unless, of course, you're the fan base of Austin or Utah. For the fans of the Elite, they would have liked a couple more points, wind up victorious, and of course, for the fans of Utah, they would have liked to have been involved. We welcome to the Dell Diamond, everyone, home this year of the Austin Elite, as they welcome the Warriors for what is for Utah their season opener here in 2019. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConaughey with you. Kit, we saw drama in all four matches in that round one. Mentioned with 9 teams this year, however, the Warriors were left out in the cold. They begin their season tonight.
Oh, what a fantastic start to the season. 4 games decided by less than 10 points combined. A dream start to the season. For Utah, getting week 1 off, that's a bit of an advantage. They got to watch Austin last week, so they know what they're going to be up against.
It's one thing to be impatient while waiting, but Utah, we believe, will have a chance to maximize from sitting back and seeing how the first week of the season was able to unfold. Let's take a look at what we have this weekend. 3 teams will have a bye in round 2. Of course, Austin and Utah, the lone matchup tonight, and then tomorrow another doubleheader. Should be a good one. Of course, San Diego, one of the few teams to be able to crack that seawall a year ago. Let's see if San Diego does in fact have the number of Seattle. Of course, Glendale trying to bounce back from their loss in the first week. NOLA Gold is, again, the standings. They sit atop those standings with 5 full points as the Raptors will try to knock them down a peg. There are the standings. All 8 teams, Kit, that played last weekend came away with points. That's how competitive it was.
You're exactly right. A great start to the season. Great matches. All NOLA able to hold on at home for the victory over Toronto. Looking forward to tonight's matchup. Austin looking for their first win of 2019.
For a second straight weekend, the Elite are at home in Round Rock, just north of the capital city here in the Lone Star State. Kit, when we take a look at this matchup against the Warriors, for Utah making their debut tonight here in season number 2, what do they need to be able to accomplish?
First and foremost, the Warriors have to start fast. They're on the road. They're taking on a team that's already played a match this season. They do not want to get behind early, and they need to win the battle at the hinge. This is going to be critical across the entire league. Win that battle at 8, 9, and 10. If they can do that, they have a very good shot of winning the match.
For Austin, came a point shy. That 21-20 affair, they fell in the Texas Derby to Houston. How do they come away with the win here?
It's about playing smart defense. They have to stiffen up, especially inside against a Utah team that has good forwards, like to run the ball inside. But if they commit too many men outside, Utah has the speed to beat them wide. They have to win the kicking game as well. Austin loves their kicking game, but last week came up a bit short.
We pause for the national anthem. When we come back, take a look at a key player to focus on for both the Warriors and the Elite. These two sides split their 2 regular season meetings last year. In fact, that final playoff spot, as 4 teams would move on to the postseason, came down to these 2 teams. Utah would beat Houston on the final day and snag that final spot at the expense of the Elite, essentially ending their season. Kit, we talk about some movement. It was Chris Shade wearing the number 2 as the hooker to start the season last weekend. Tonight, he wears the number 1 as your prop.
Chris Shade will be the loose head prop tonight. He was an MLR first 15 week 1 selection, a huge force for Austin, had the first try of the season. Also a 100% tackle completion rate against Houston.
That will be one of many adjustments for Alain Yardet, head coach for Austin. Across the way for the Warriors, if you're head coach Alf Daniels, you had one of the top scoring teams last season in year 1 of Major League Rugby. Who do you have your eye on in particular?
There's some very good talent for Utah, but the man you keep an eye on their left wing, Fatou Vanikolo, he may be the best back in all of Major League Rugby, and Austin is going to have to keep him in check. He is very good when he has the ball, and extremely dangerous when he has space to work with.
And of course, Vainicola, Tonga's all-time leading try scorer. Lincoln Rose, Kim McConico with you tonight here on Facebook Watch, along with the third member of our broadcast team for the first time. Let's check in with Bailey Burmaster.
The Austin Elite put out a memo prior to this game giving fans a lot of information where they can tailgate, where live music is, but more importantly implemented a sticker. You pick a sticker. So the yellow means you're new to the game and you want to learn more. Blue means you're a veteran and can answer any questions. The green, and I quote here, means I'm single and drinks are on me. So choose wisely as you come through the gates. Lincoln and Kit.
Bailey, thank you very much. That has already received quite a bit of praise when they announced some of the adjustments. Of course, another nice crowd here in Round Rock. We had a decent amount of rain come down during Saturday's affair against Houston, led to some slippery and at times sloppy conditions, also sent many of the fans underneath the overhang. We are underway for Utah. Here goes season number 2 in Major League Rugby.
Utah with the opening possession. Perfect weather tonight. Great temperature, a little bit of rain, but not much in the forecast. It'll be interesting to see how the Warriors start this, their first match of the season.
And we don't have to wait long for our first set piece, the line out. Well, let me ask you, with players missing, how is that going to potentially affect the line out here? We know when subs come on, it can be a challenge. This is something where you need reps with the men around you.
You're exactly right. And Austin missing their prop Juan Echevarria, Andres Villaseca, the inside center, and their number 5, Josh Larson. All in America's Rugby Championship duty for Uruguay and Canada, respectively. Uruguay missing players due to injury. The Whippy brothers and Don Patti. Big losses for both teams. How will the bench, how will the reserves step up?
It was Lance Williams who was able to recover that line out, take it up towards midfield, towards the halfway line. And Utah, you mentioned one of the more prolific scoring squads last year, of course, with the return of Lauti, their top try scorer last year. They have to be optimistic coming into today. Utah's going to win this one.
You're okay.
Yes, you are.
And Bali DeLuca, our central official here tonight, our referee, offside the call.
Bali DeLuca, Derek Summers, Lex Weiner, the crew for tonight. For Utah, a very good start. It's going to be, look forward to see what they have. They have a very good back row combo with Williams, Elkington, and Cullen there, 6, 7, and 8.
And they'll play another line out.
Mentioned in the open, Austin likes that wide defense, that French style from their head coach, Alain Yade. They like to keep numbers wide defensively. That led to a few offsides against Houston, more than they would like. They're going to have to bring it in a little tighter against this Houston forward group that can really run the ball well.
Daniels, the hooker, sends it in. That's 2 lineouts Utah has struggled with, able to recover the first one. They knock on here.
Yeah, Utah very lucky. Austin knocked that one on and able to hold on to it. That time in and out of the hands of their scrum half, Marcelo Torrealba.
Remember what we talked before the match, okay? Be patient.
So our first scrum for Austin, that is a new look up front from last week. Chris Shade slides from hooker to prop. Erasmus and Peterson join him up front. As 8 men for Austin, 8 men for Utah enter the scrum. And it'll be fed here by Utah.
A lot of power in that pack for Austin. You've got to think they have an advantage in the scrum.
Luciano.
Use it, Red. Advantage.
And again, they will play the advantage in Utah, looking to maximize this opportunity. Healthy run from the captain, Tim O'Malley.
Yeah, you see Big Cullen, the former Utah football player there. Utah doing a very good job. A nice start from the visitors.
Utah flirting with the 5-meter line. Lauti, no stranger to crossing that try line. Can Utah punch it in for their first score on the young campaign?
Austin's defense is going to have to bow its neck early here. A much improved Utah side from a year ago. A lot of talent, high expectations for the Warriors.
It's an Austin side that did not concede a try last week. They would concede instead 7 kicks from the boot of Sam Windsor.
Use it, Red.
Cullen.
Thank you, thank you.
A couple of meters from Cullen.
Utah elected to keep it in. Now send it out. Vanicolo over the top.
Looking for space. Elkington trying to dot it down.
Thank you, Derek.
And what a ball. Give credit there to Vanicolo. Fetz, the birthday boy 2 days ago. Happy belated birthday. Just a good ball out into space and able to find his way through Elkington with the try.
Ara, one of the returners for the Warriors.
15.
Part of that BYU connection, the former All-American, two-time national champion.
15, be careful with the
With
timing,
the opening
okay?
5 points for Utah. Still pending a conversion here from your captain, Tim O'Malley.
A dream start for the visitors,
Good.
marching down the field, and able to come up with the try. See if O'Malley can add to the Utah score.
O'Malley, like many of his teammates, with New Zealand ties.
Utah try scored by number 12.
First try conceded this year by Austin.
And you saw Austin defensively. They had numbers central. They were not going to let Utah beat them with the forwards. And Vanicolo over the top found Elkington a great pass on the money.
Have to attempt the conversion in line with where the ball was touched down for the try. Obviously tougher angle here. The 24-year-old puts his boot into this one, and he is able to split the sticks.
Beautiful kick from Tim O'Malley, the inside center. Put that one right between from a tough angle. Makes it 7-0 Utah.
Good.
Take another look here at the try. Just good movement going through. Simple. Vanicolo outside Elkington. And Ara just too much. Able to get through. Zinzan Allen Puddick, who's moved from 15 to the 13 now. Playing in outside center tonight for Austin, but just couldn't get to him in time.
The team that scores subsequently has the ball kicked back to them. It's sent to Austin to try to gain some field position. The Elite will look to return the favor. This one will scrape the sky. Chance to advance the ball off the kick.
Oh, very nicely done. Great offload there from Mitchell, the big captain, the Irishman. I mentioned the kicking game. Austin prides themselves on the kicking game, but last week they lost it. Houston much better, had over 100 meters more in comparison to Austin. Something they're going to have to win tonight to have a shot.
How quickly the Elite find themselves in the red zone and then the turnover. Now Austin was playing an advantage, I believe, and offsides had been called against Utah, so no harm done there on the miscue for the Elite. Ball will come back to the home side.
Austin fortunate in that situation, offside.
Utah try was scored by number 7, Elkington.
It appears that Austin is going to go for the post. They will let the Frenchman, Timothy Guillemon, have an opportunity, see if he can put the home side on the board.
Tim split kicking responsibilities last weekend with Romero, who got the start at scrum half. Our scrum half tonight, Torrealba, the Chilean. Of course, you have imagined Torrealba will pay attention to tomorrow's outing between the Eagles and Chile.
We'll talk with new addition to the Elite, Sebastian Calm, the Chilean at halftime, get his thoughts on that America's Rugby Championship match in week 1.
Guillemon. Good.
And it should always be Guillemon. He is the one. Last year, the Austin fans grew accustomed to him. His nickname, La Boule in French, the boot. He's fantastic. Doing a great job there. Puts Austin on the board. And I was, quite frankly, I was surprised that early on that Romero had a few of those kicks in that match against Houston, but they quickly went back to Guillemon, and I don't think anyone else will be taking kicks tonight and maybe for the rest of the season for Austin.
The Frenchman had his first cap for his national team against Italy earlier in his career. Of course, has ties here in Austin, was with the Austin Huns. Now the last 2 years in Major League Rugby with the Austin side here with the Elite. Last year he was MLR's #2 leading scorer behind only Sam Windsor.
No hands, red!
Run there from Rikus Swart.
Austin hasn't had much of it yet. Be interesting to see if they're able to go through the phases, keep a bit of possession.
The Rockets outside, take it inside.
I mentioned Swart. He'll be playing the 5 tonight for Josh Larson, off on national team duty with Canada.
Vantage.
Austin able to fall on it after advancing it with the boots.
Peterson, who gets the start at 3, the tight head prop, the California native. Came on as a sub in that loss to Houston. So a different front line from Austin. Advantage played again. And you see Big Peterson going forward, making tough meters.
It's a Utah defense where the heart of it, a lot of changes from last year's squad that made it to the semifinals. Zwart, that ball a challenge, stays with the elite. Last trip down, Austin came away with a chance to split the uprights. This time hoping to dot one down into congestion.
What an offload there. And so far, Torrealba, the Chilean scrum half, doing a great job for Austin in this one. 2 very good scrum halves in Luciano and Torrealba, respectively.
Chris Shade escorting some Warriors to the pitch.
Captain Mitchell getting into the action.
You can't kick the ball.
And this will create a dilemma of sorts for Austin. Will they try to take the 3, or do they think they have the opportunity to punch it in?
If I'm Austin, I take the scrum right now. The head coach, Alain Yardet, having a few words. We'll see what he elects to do if he's going to go for the post. But Austin looking very good, moving the ball well. We'll see if they bring the tee out onto the pitch. Yardet, the Frenchman, he's coached some of the best, including one of the best of all time, Jonah Lomu, the great all-black.
Captain, what are you going to do?
One of the legends of this sport.
You hear Bali DeLuca, our referee, inquiring what the choice is for Austin. Of course, after a penalty, an option of a scrum or a kick. And Shade needs to be careful. Can't just deliver a good old-fashioned stiff arm. That arm, for the most part, needs to already be fully extended.
That's exactly right. Shade had a monster of a match last week, did the Ohio native. He was great offensively, great defensively. He's going to have a similar caliber match tonight. Guillemot will indeed ask for the tee, and he will go for post again, a chance to make it a 1-point game. Last week, Houston got that 21-20 victory. All points, as you mentioned, coming off the boot of the Aussie Sam Windsor. He was 7 for 7.
Austin saw that victory slip away in the 80th minute last week. Guillemot early on, 2 for 2. Austin is back within 1.
Austin doing a very good job. They're taking points with the opportunities there. I thought they might continue to try to go offense and try to go with the scrum. They had things going, but they're going to go with the sure thing, and that is generally the case when Guillemot puts boot to ball.
Tell the message to your players, please.
Dylan Peterson has come on, one of the many South Africans for Austin. I think we saw Shade come out.
And Peterson, the new addition, brought him in this week, did Austin, the big South African, 6'7", 270 pounds.
Fielded by the captain, Ben Mitchell. Mitchell last year, first team all Major League Rugby, honored at the end of the year.
Red, hold. Good.
Austin was successful with that aerial attack off their boots. Last couple of trips down. Again across the midfield point.
Austin doing a very good job in the kicking game right now, using their speed to get under that high ball much quicker than they did against Houston.
And I believe calling for the mark there was Ian Luciano on the kick. Essentially the fair catch for him and a chance for him to kick now.
No, I'm talking with him. Go 10 meters back.
Luciano was trying to take advantage of a 10-meter violation there, but to the credit of Bali DeLuca saying, no, we're having a conversation.
And Bali DeLuca keeping things in check early. Luciano, one of the best scrum halves you're going to see in Major League Rugby. He delivers a perfect pass, and he's a guy who delivers a ball for the player, not just to the player. And there's a big difference.
By calling for that mark, essentially a fair catch, he was entitled then to have a clean kick, uncontested from Austin. And as we have seen Utah a couple times already, sends it into touch, as this time it'll be Shade leading the line out for the elite.
Now what a start to this one, just back and forth. Both teams very impressive. See if the defense is stiffened up.
Both sides have struggled, however, on their lineouts.
Play on. Advantage knock on.
Knock on called against Austin. Utah will play the advantage for as long as they can.
Utah keeping numbers central, pounding away, trying to draw that Austin defense in before they send it out wide. Oh,
Let's
big
go back to the
knock on
last
there.
knock-on. There was knock-on from blue. Always under pressure.
Almost any time you see a mishandling of the ball right there, technically, you likely have seen a ball
Knock-on from
advance
blue,
forward.
knock-on from red.
And that is a knock-on from, again, the visitors. Let's see what Austin has in mind. Looks like they're going for the scrum.
So it'll be scrum to Utah advantage being played, I believe. Take another look there. O'Malley couldn't get his hands on it, so indeed it will be scrum to Utah.
Bind!
Again, Luciano, your new scrum half this year, out of Sydney, Australia.
Yes, man.
See the quality of the pass from Luciano, just puts it right on the money, knows where his teammates want it.
Hit.
See if Austin as well puts a boot to it.
Away blue!
Another high ball, but Austin not chasing, not contesting there. The chase almost as important as the kick.
Utah with the opening try and conversion, up by 7. After Ara Elkington was able to dot it down, Austin has responded with a couple of Tim Guillermin goals.
Oh, what an offload there. Larson, fantastic. Austin looking dangerous.
Travis Larson, the Canadian, playing without his brother tonight. Both his brother as well as some players from Uruguay participating in the ARC.
Knock-on blue.
We mentioned that teams this year in Major League Rugby, they're going to need deep rosters. You have the American Rugby Championship. Obviously, national team duty will take players away, and then injuries, which will happen at some point. The teams are going to need rosters of upwards of 30 players if they're going to compete for a championship this year.
Well, we've already seen a little bit smoother play here without the rain in week 2 for Austin and Utah.
I need you to help me with the elbows.
Yeah, weather played a huge factor last week. A lot of knock-on, just a slippery ball. Players having trouble handling.
Let's go, Bronco. Coach! Bind! Set!
Getting your props and hooker up front.
Just relax.
As that scrum will collapse, let's see if
Same
Paulie DeLuca finds fault in either side or simply
Pull it forward.
resets here.
Same. Push forward together.
More often than not, he'll give them one more opportunity to get it right.
Yeah, that back row of Austin last week, a monster match. Talking about guys like Kyle Breitenbach, Travis Larson, each with 10-plus tackles.
Good.
Get the scrum in art form.
Let's go.
It's not so much about a collision, but once you lock in with your opponent up front, as the props and hookers will do,
Coach!
battle of wills.
So much technique that goes unseen. Obviously, the pressure,
Set!
thousands of pounds being applied. But a lot of things go on in the scrum. Some of them not fit for air.
Same scrum.
And they will get a turning of the scrum.
Control the engagement. Okay. Control the engagement. Okay. Don't move the foot. Okay. Just
So you hear him there speaking of Logan Daniels.
Okay. And stay in the place.
Warriors hooker.
Almost every rule in our sport dictated by player safety as well as
Control the set, please.
encouraging constant play.
That's the thing about the scrum is you can't have it bow up, you can't have it go down. It has to be that tabletop, completely flat.
We good?
It's all about safety.
Use it blue, red.
A good scrum right there. You saw it.
Third time the charm for Utah. Into space. Will it stay playable? Instead, no. In touch. Off the hop. So a line out. Both teams have had their struggles here early on this set piece.
Perfectly placed right there, but as you said, I haven't really seen either side take advantage of the set pieces.
Austin's without one of their top targets. I mentioned Josh Larson with the Canadian national team. So you're missing that 6'5" opportunity.
And it'll be a line out to Austin. That one going just shy of the 22-meter.
9. Good.
Austin lucky to retain it there. Breitenbach tried to tap it back, couldn't.
Winds up with Travis Larson. And finally the boot to it from your new starting scrum half, Torrealba, this week for Austin.
Beautiful take there. Torrealba trying to relieve some pressure.
Contact in the air.
A great take there from Utah. Contact, but still able to secure it.
Captain.
Utah in action tonight, their season opener. They will hit the road to San Diego for the 17th, but they'll have another bye next week to digest.
No, we must play.
However, this Friday evening unfolds.
Good.
You see their first player down. Obviously, kit conditioning and depth will obviously be storylines this year. We go from a 17 league with an abbreviated spring-summer schedule, now starting here in the winter through the summer, as every team will play one another twice in a 16-game slate.
As it should be, a longer season, new teams with Rugby United New York, the Toronto Arrows both coming into existence, new teams slated to come in next year.
Do it.
But this is going to be a longer season. Attrition will certainly be a factor.
We have a substitution. 14 blue.
Utah with a line out coming up.
14.
Just talking about 14 blue, that'd be Penny Tagive. Tagive, the right wing.
It's the blood. Is he?
Tagive played his college football about an hour and a half north of us at Baylor.
Yeah, Tagive hadn't seen much of the ball. He'll give away to Reese Sarnecki. And I was interested to see how long they were going to leave Tagive out there. He wasn't fantastic in the air last week in those kicking situations against Houston, and I knew that if they targeted him, if Utah did early, they would bring Sarnecki on as a replacement. They will anyways with the blood.
So Utah with a line out pending. It's our first hydration break here in Round Rock, and it gives us a chance to check back in with Bailey. Told you.
Yeah, back row Travis Larson for Austin Elite left the game with a right under eye cut. It's very deep. They were able to patch it up in about 5 minutes, and he was back out there at the 15-minute mark. We'll keep an eye on that. Lincoln and Kit.
Well, we talk about the physicality of this game. It's going to take a lot to keep Travis, your number 8 for Austin, off the pitch, apparently.
Dylan Pedersen, the South African, came on for him.
One from blue. It's hiding a little bit the shoulder.
So Pedri Vandenberg, former Springbok and Austin elite forwards coach there, having a few words for his charges.
When the ball is today at 8.
Great staff this Austin team is assembled. Alain Yardet, Vandenberg is the forwards coach, CJ DeVet as the backs coach.
A little bit hiding his shoulder.
Utah last year in the semifinals ran into Glendale, conceded the first 22 points of that match, and just too big of a hill to climb to move on to the championship. Glendale would go on to face Seattle. And again, you see the lone Larson available tonight with a noticeable blemish below that right arm.
Yeah, big matches tomorrow. USA will be down in Chile taking on the Chileans. Canada also in the southern hemisphere. They will be in Montevideo taking on Uruguay. The 4th series of the America's Rugby Championship.
Gracias.
How much do you love this from Torrealba, who again was not your starting scrum half last week, comes in this week a vocal leader already in that huddle for Austin.
And you see the cut under the eye of Larson, a good look at it there.
Captain.
See if that'll stay closed.
Look,
I think these days they just put super glue on it. It's pretty much the cure-all. Some of the young rugby teams from here in Central Texas on hand.
Maybe.
Hoping to one day be in this position.
Well, and that is something that is available for young rugby fans now, something to aspire to. You play the sport younger and younger, especially here in the state of Texas, and now you can see a future beyond just playing for the red, white, and blue is fantastic, but being able to avoid picking up that rust and actually play professionally when you aren't representing your country, there's something to be said for that.
Very nicely taken there. Jensen able to rise above to secure it.
Utah trying to take advantage of the maul.
Same maul.
Utah looking for its second try. That ball secured by Williams and taken in.
Lance Williams doing a great job there, heads up. Was able to come away with it, just came off the side of the maul. Austin a bit disorganized. They were on their back heel, and Williams dots it down for the second Warriors try.
The former Rainbow Warrior, when he was the all-time leading tackler at the University of Hawaii as a linebacker, gets to touch the football a bit more often now as he carries the rugby ball into the end zone for the try.
Just a good heads-up run from Williams. Got it, ran off the side of the ball. Austin unable to get to him. You take another look, Williams biding his time, biding, waiting, and then just able to squirt through off to the edge, found the hole, and in for the try.
Well, Vainicolo had the assist on the first try. A little nudge there, perhaps assisting on the second try as well.
A good start from Utah.
The 24-year-old O'Malley able to connect on the first conversion. And with ease.
And the conversion by O'Malley is good.
And right now the difference is Austin settling for the kicks, Utah with the tries. And that's why Utah leads 14-6. The two tries, both conversions as well. And for a team that has not played a game this season, you wouldn't know it. Utah, no rust from the Warriors.
No excuses, didn't play last week, had to travel this week, ready to go.
The ball is inside.
Mentioned Utah would have to start fast, but it's Austin who finds himself behind the 8 ball down early.
Back, back, back.
Back to Austin. See what the Elite have in mind. Having just conceded their second try of the opening half. Oh, on the outside, just trying to eat some meters. Your new hooker this week in Erasmus.
Erasmus, the big South African, not coming up with much.
When he's not playing rugby, a U22 heavyweight boxer. I don't think anybody was going to guess welterweight or anything below.
Utah lucky there. That ball ruled to have gone backwards, at least on the kick, then the knock on.
So here the Elite flirting with the red zone once again after the knock on.
We'll see what Austin elects to do if they're gonna let Guilliman have another go for the post. Here it is, oh, the pass just right in front of the hands. Johnny Ika unable to secure it. The fullback had a fingertip to it, but not enough. And Austin is gonna go for a scrum. I like this. Austin knows that the kicks may not be enough. They're gonna have to dot one down.
Austin with the scrum realizes those multiples of threes just not accumulating quickly enough to get out of this deficit.
Set. Stability, please.
Scrum will collapse, they'll go again.
Here. Your body is not good, but please, I need you to take all the shoulders in the same space, in the same line, okay? Keep him some space.
You hear the instruction there. Our referee, Bali DeLuca, doing a very good job.
The shoulders in the same line, please.
Keeping that shoulder alignment from both sides, so important.
Better space there? Good, good, good.
Your props and hookers wind up dancing cheek to cheek.
Crouch.
It will be Austin who tries to be the one to lead.
Set.
Torrealba into the tunnel.
Under pressure.
And Utah able to impose some will and perhaps get under the skin of Austin.
Peterson there and Daniels exchanging pleasantries. And you see Lance Williams, he's very pleased, and he should be.
When you hear my whistle, you stop.
Not only a try
listen to me,
for the flanker,
I don't want you to be pushing or shoving.
but Austin unable to win the scrum. And you see Peterson popping up. The reaction from Utah.
The front row.
Took offense there with Franco Vandenberg.
No, we don't have TMO.
Vandenberg, one of your new men up front this year for the Warriors compared to their starting lineup. in the semifinals last year.
A very different Utah side. A lot of new additions. They've brought a lot of talent in. Retained some of those quality players from a year ago.
Vandenberg from Johannesburg. I'd love to hear from anybody watching in Johannesburg. He was born on Halloween. Is that a thing in Johannesburg? If so, what's the most popular candy? I imagine candy corn is universal.
I talked with him about what happened after.
There's Derek Summers, our head man last weekend. He's a little drier here today. Along the touch line, we had a few sprinkles of rain prior to the match just to make it a little more humid to add to the fun.
Just over 10 minutes remaining here in this first half. Austin really needs to get something going. The offense has not been able to find its footing.
Utah winning this ball back with their ability to win that scrum a moment ago.
Back.
Luciano able to avoid the knock-on.
Luciano doing a great job there.
Thank you.
Luciano, a little dummy. Tried to spin out of the tackle of Torrealba.
Use it, Red. Wait. Hold. Thank you.
Austin was offside far too many times last week against Houston. They've done a better job, more disciplined this week.
No, it's inside.
Oh, what a ball over the top by Nicolo, the recipient.
Simple able to dial him up. They're flirting with that touch line.
Utah going through the phases here. Looking very smooth, I might add.
Away for. Thank you. Stay there.
They've matriculated to the halfway line. Warriors already a pair of tries. Try to chew up some real estate.
The idea was there, but no chase on the kick as Jordan will send it back the other way.
That extra hop costing Simple a moment.
And Jordan doing a very good job chasing the kick. Austin doing much better in that respect.
Yes, yes. That's it.
It's an extra movement.
Simple slow to get to his feet. Looked like he was holding that hamstring for a moment.
Simple, also the backs coach, along with being the fly half for Utah.
Guillermin from inside of 40 meters sends this one as they hope to have a driving maul here in a moment.
That's how Austin scored their first try last week against Houston. They had a line out just like this. Shade was able to push it across as head coach Alan Yarde looks on, hoping that this is Austin's chance.
Was any of that sensitive in terms of national security on his clipboard? Shade sends it in. Ball spills loose.
Advantage.
And Austin lets one slip away.
Give Elkington credit. Great pursuit there from the flanker. Already has a try, and Elkington doing a very good job defensively.
What an opportunity that could have been for Austin.
Erasmus, the former heavyweight boxer from South Africa. I don't know if that's the man I would want to be instigating things with.
Captain.
Conferring with Derek Summers.
Captain.
Bring Mitchell.
I have a feeling he's going to remind them what the whistle's for.
O'Malley out.
Look, we have 26 minutes, okay? And we have a good match when you're trying to play. I don't need this anymore, okay? When you hear my whistle, you stop. Next time, I will change and I will give you a penalty, okay? Can you talk with the players and talk with your players? I need that. No, but that there was no problem with that.
Sure?
Yeah. Can you tell to your players, please?
Yeah, I'll tell them to come.
Good.
You heard referee DeLuca. Both teams need to be careful. One is going to end up heading to the sin bin if he brings out the yellow card.
Clear.
There's too much extracurriculars at the time being.
Time back on.
Correct response, 99.9% of the time is yes, sir. And heading back to your huddle.
Yeah, let's go, right? Look,
As Paulie DeLuca hopes that's the final delay here in the run of play in this first half.
Your shoulder, please.
Oh, just the leg, sorry.
Ready?
Let's go.
Great vantage point here from our guys
All
down
right,
on the
folks,
pitch.
here we go.
What a missed opportunity for
Thank you.
Austin. Had the line out looking for the driving ball.
Coach!
But the pressure from Elkington. Utah able to come up with it. And I'll see if Austin can win it back.
Use it, Red!
And there's the missile heading forward. Part of that outstanding group of backs with pace and power for Utah.
Jeremy last year with the inaugural champions out of Seattle. Chance to run into space, but Utah able to deny Austin that opportunity.
It's a great idea there from Jordan. Like the little ball over the top, little chip kick, but Ika able to get to it first. Well read by the Utah fullback.
We don't have forward passes, but you can play that ball forward with your boot.
Play on.
Often if you think you have that speed advantage and there's some space to work with. Lance Williams, who had the last try.
Utah starting to find holes in that Austin defense.
Oh, big collision at the halfway line.
Big AERvUTA, the leader of this Utah team.
No, 13, stop. 13. Thank you.
And the elite will return the favor. This one into touch.
AERvUTA.
No, they say both feet able to keep them in.
Oh, what a job there. AERvUTA able to get all these type A personalities in line. A great work rate, always leading from the front.
Yeah, it's late.
Travis Larson again is down. Let's see if they reopen that eye.
That was a question. That was a deep gash underneath the eye of Larson. Not quite sure how long that was going to stay closed.
I think now we have a nose
You're
to be concerned with as well for the number 8.
Larson, the Canadian,
Yeah.
no doubt will be watching his brother tomorrow and his home country as they travel down south to take on Uruguay. You see collision with Ika.
Utah with a pair of tries and conversions for their 14 points. Austin with a pair of penalty goals from Guillemon.
And I must say, I'm very impressed with this start from Utah. Obviously, they didn't play last week. They had the advantage of watching this Austin-Houston match. They saw a few things they wanted to exploit. They're able to do so, but they're looking clean. There's no rust. Going through the phases.
Yes, dude.
Very nice start for the visitors.
Play on.
So a line out for the Warriors. Again, Logan Daniels will be the man to send it in. 26-year-old from New Zealand. That ball is still moving forward.
Red players to the floor. Red players to the floor. Hold blue, hold.
Austin with a chance to regroup. Out to your fullback, a run here from Ika.
The idea was there, Ika looking for Vanikolo Fetz. Just couldn't collect it.
It's option. Yeah.
But a great job. The passes getting out of hands quickly, getting it out wide.
Line out.
Ika had Jordan sucked in. If he would have been able to get that one in to Vanikolo, chances are he would have been in for a try.
31 minutes.
So Austin line out here.
Excuse me, 32 minutes.
Bailey Burmaster has an update again on the Canadian.
Larson, that cut under his right arm started bleeding. Again, they put a Band-Aid over it, but now it is his nose that is causing issues. Still on the sideline. We'll watch to see if he gets back in the game before half. Guys.
Bailey, thank you. Right now, Utah flirting with that 5-meter line. Austin trying to put together a stand. Already down by 8.
Thank you, T. Thank you.
Able to bring AERvUTA down.
Austin needs a stop here. They can ill afford to let the deficit grow any larger.
Shade for Austin awaits his opportunity to make a tackle. He was perfect last week. Shade on that tackle.
Shade did not miss a tackle. Brayton Bach had 14 tackles to lead. There's Brayton Bach.
Williams, 5 meters short. Mishandle for Utah.
Advantage over.
Oh, what a mistake from the Warriors. They could smell the try zone.
That ball continued to take a jog before O'Malley was able to secure it.
Advantage. Not rolling away.
Luciano trying to calm the troops for a moment.
Luciano doing a very good job. Knew he should take that extra second, give his guys a chance to take an extra breath. Helter-skelter there, not to Utah's benefit with the lead.
You're playing advantage.
Able to field it 30 meters up.
Yeah, the guy with the...
And apparently there was an advantage being played at the time, as Bali DeLuca will bring it back.
The waning moments here of the first half. Got off to a rocket start from both of these teams. Certainly the case for Utah. 2 tries, a pair of conversions. Austin, all the points coming off the boot of Timothy Guillemot.
5 minutes.
Again, the clock right now unofficial. Time being kept with some of the stoppage we've had by Mr. DeLuca. You heard him mention we still have 5 minutes to play. 5 minutes to impact that score. Right now, 14-6, the Warriors opening up their 2019 campaign in style.
The Warriors content to power ahead with the forwards here in the first half. We'll see if in the second they get it out wide to the likes of Vainikolo, Lauti, and the missile. Use their speed and their power.
3 minutes and a half. Se retira tarde. Pasa que sea un pescador bien, pero...
Lex Weiner, our official across the way. Another line out for Utah. And that's the smoothest transaction we've seen so far as they find John Cullen.
And Cullen doing a great job rising above, won it. Now the driving maul.
Daniels. And this time Austin able to make a stand.
10 more.
You see Franco Vandenberg mindful that they've already received their lone warning. He does not want to be down a teammate.
Yeah, Vandenberg doing a fantastic job pulling Cullen away. That's what you do when your teammate a little hot under the collar. Get him away. You can ill afford to have somebody sent to the bin. Well done by Austin there.
Just be safe. We'll address him as Sergeant John Cullen, member of the Utah National Guard. Competes with those all-Army 7s.
Oh, the beautiful ball placed perfectly by Guillemot.
To the lead kicking touch.
Can the Elite sneak some points onto the board? Cut into this 8-point deficit before halftime.
Little time remaining here in the first half. Haven't seen Austin really get it wide. They moved Zizan Allen, but they moved Zenny from the 15 to the 13 this week, now at outside center. But he hasn't had any opportunities to make an impact. And hoping to get him more touches. That has not been the case thus far.
Sent in from Shade. A beauty to the Captain Mitchell.
Stop once.
Emerging from the maul.
Back red.
Again, your new scrum half this week, Torrealba.
Release tackler.
Again, Austin just not getting the ball out quickly enough, giving that Utah defense time to reset.
Release tackler. Advantage.
Luciano considering a tap and go.
You could see he wanted to take some space, but advantage
Number 1.
was the case for Austin. I believe they will bring the tee out.
Well, I think Austin's best
Number
chance
1.
for a try we've seen today was on a failed line out where they credit Utah did not allow that maul to get established.
And specifically credit Elkington. He did a fantastic job defensively. He got the pressure there. Guillemon will try to cut the deficit to 5 going into the break.
2 for 2 today.
Goal kick attempt for Austin Elite. One coming.
Again, Guillemon, the former Austin Hun, past 2 years, now here with the Elite in Major League Rugby. Former champion here in the United States. 84 points last year. Split the sticks on 20 occasions. He's called the boot. For good reason.
Good into the first half from Austin, able to cut the deficit to 5. Guillemon 3 for 3. All Austin points coming from Timothy Guillemon. Utah a pair of tries, and you've got to say the Warriors looking the better side in the first half.
Let's check in with Bailey Burmaster and Coach.
Coach, how crucial were those last 3 points going into halftime?
Yes, it's very, very important to take the points because we are 2 penalty touch and very close for the line, and it's not very good, and it's very important we take all the points.
What needs to improve in the second half to come out on top at the end of this game?
I think with the second half, no rain. We move the ball for run the defense, for run the team for Utah because it's very strong, very strong, very close for the ruck, and I think we try for move the ball.
Thanks, Coach. Lincoln and Kit.
Again, Alain Yardet, the head coach of the Austin Elite. We step aside for a moment. Utah had to sit back and watch last week, their season opener tonight. Already a pair of tries and a 1-score advantage over the home side, Austin Elite, at the break.
This is not just a jersey. This is a gateway which men pass. This is not just fabric. This is fiber that binds us together. This is not just a jersey. This is a reminder of all who have worn it before. This is not just a uniform. This is more than a jersey only 23 men wear. This is a jersey fitted for our fans. This is a win or a loss, but it will not be defeated. This is everything but just a jersey.
US Cryotherapy offers cutting-edge electrically cooled cryotherapy, which has been clinically proven to reduce pain and inflammation, boost endorphins, and speed up athletic recovery. Our athletes recover faster, train harder, and perform better on the pitch. That's why Austin Elite only chooses the best and recovers with us. Mention Austin Elite Rugby for 10% off all services and memberships. Keep Austin chill.
Halftime here at Round Rock. Welcome you back to Dell Diamond, now joined by Austin Elite, number 8, Sebastian Kalm. Very nice to have him with me here. Sebastian recovering from an injury, and first and foremost, how's the recovery coming?
Hey, Kit, thanks for having me. It's been really good. It's been a long, slow process, but it's coming together very well, and every day is a little better. So I'm looking forward to get back and go fight with the boys out there.
I know you are, bit by bit. You told me pregame the most difficult thing for you is game day, watching them out there, and you can't be a part of it. You can't help just yet.
Absolutely, yeah, and I can't let it affect either, so I just keep a positive attitude and help wherever I can.
Sebastian, you're a former NOLA Gold man, your first year here in Austin. Your initial impressions of the Austin Elite?
Well, it's a very new team, even though it's coming for year 2. There's a lot of new guys coming to the team, so that kind of help ease the way into it, and we've done a great job building culture, and everyone's been very welcoming, so I'm really happy.
You're originally from Santiago, Chile. You came to the U.S. You played at Lindenwood. What was your experience playing college rugby here in the U.S.?
It was awesome. It was like a dream for me. I wanted to pursue my studies at the same time. I wanted to further my rugby career, and I couldn't have chosen a better time and a better place than Lindenwood University. Coming
from the Southern Hemisphere, obviously, rugby is a big deal. That's putting it mildly. What are the biggest differences between rugby in Chile and rugby here in the U.S. that you've seen?
Well, I would say the amount of players that you get it makes a big difference. You know, you're able to build a league, and you have the volume of people. And then the money that there's behind the sports, you know, with the US Sevens making a huge impact, and now the Eagles going into World Cup, it kind of makes it easy for them to get the fundings to support the development. And that's something that Chile is working on really hard right now, with Pablo Lemoyne coming in and restructuring the Chilean rugby from the roots up. So,
speaking of Chile and the USA, there's a match tomorrow in Chile. The Eagles down south taking on Chile there in the America's Rugby Championship. Your home country versus your adopted country. What do you think of the outcome of this match will be?
Yeah, it's a hard split for me. Obviously, I'm here in the States, but always there's a sentiment of support to my nation, you know what I mean? And I have a lot of friends playing as well, so for me it's just get everyone healthy in and out of the game and for it to be a good match.
Well, Sebastian, we hope you get healthy soon. We hope to see you back on the pitch soon. It's a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, kid. Appreciate it.
Sebastian Calm, Austin Elite #8, joining me here at halftime. Make sure you stick with us. We'll get you some highlights and updates and get ready for the second half here at Dell Diamond.
This is not just a jersey. This is a gateway which men pass. This is not just fabric. This is fiber that binds us together. This is not just a jersey. This is a reminder of all who have worn it before. This is not just a uniform. This is more than a jersey only 23 men wear. This is a jersey fitted for our fans. This is a win or a loss, but it will not be defeated. This is everything but just a jersey.
I wished I could tell my daughter to go play outside, but every time she coughed or wheezed or suffered, it scared me. And weekly allergy shots were just as scary, scarier for her.
I used to start my day ready to take on the world, but every change in temperature or rain or wind triggered something in my head. Itchy, watery eyes, headaches. I was miserable, no matter what the season. I couldn't breathe. It was like having a cold all the time.
And even if she was okay with weekly allergy shots, who has the time? Between school, work, and family, no one has time to go to the doctor every single week.
A buddy of mine said I had to go to Texan Allergy.
Then we went to Texan Allergy. Drops from Texan Allergy are so easy, so simple. And best of all, they work. Allergy relief that doesn't affect our schedule.
Who could imagine something as simple as drops could change my day-to-day happiness? Texan Allergy put the quality back in my quality time.
Texan Allergy, changing lives one drop at a time.
US Cryotherapy offers cutting-edge electrically cooled cryotherapy, which has been clinically proven to reduce pain and inflammation, boost endorphins, and speed up athletic recovery. Our athletes recover faster, train harder, and perform better on the pitch. That's why Austin Elite only chooses the best and recovers with us. Mention Austin Elite Rugby for 10% off all services and memberships. Keep Austin chill.
Looking for a push on the try right there, they've scored it! Absolutely brilliant! It's blocked up the captain!
Utah on the road in its season opener, up by 5. This 5-point discrepancy matches the biggest discrepancy of any of our matchups in round 1. Kit, Utah, their fans did not have to wait long to taste the tri-zone.
Off to a great start there for Utah. Vanikolo over to Elkington. Elkington able to dot it down, and the Warriors out in front early.
Conversion was good. Then Tim Guillemon did what Tim Guillemon does.
Guillemon 3 for 3, all points for Austin coming off the boot of the Frenchman. They're going to have to figure out a way to find some more offense in the second half, because Utah, very impressive from the Warriors as they were able to find their second try, courtesy of the flanker Lance Williams, who came off the side of the maul. And Utah with that 14-9 lead. The final points of the half coming courtesy of Guillemon.
Tim Guillemon able to pull it back within a single score. Another tight one in Major League Rugby as we're midway through here at the half.
I wished I could tell my daughter to go play outside, but every time she coughed or wheezed or suffered, it scared me. And weekly allergy shots were just as scary, scarier for her.
I used to start my day ready to take on the world, but every change in temperature or rain or wind triggered something in my head. Itchy, watery eyes, headaches. I was miserable, no matter what the season. I couldn't breathe. It was like having a cold all the time.
And even if she was okay with weekly allergy shots, who has the time? Between school, work, and family, no one has time to go to the doctor every single week.
A buddy of mine said I had to go to Texan Allergy.
Then we went to Texan Allergy. Drops from Texan Allergy are so easy, so simple. And best of all, they work. Allergy relief that doesn't affect our schedule.
Who could imagine something as simple as drops could change my day-to-day happiness? Texan Allergy put the quality back in my quality time.
Texan Allergy, changing lives one drop at a time.
US Cryotherapy offers cutting-edge electrically cooled cryotherapy, which has been clinically proven to reduce pain and inflammation, boost endorphins, and speed up athletic recovery. Our athletes recover faster, train harder, and perform better on the pitch. That's why Austin Elite only chooses the best and recovers with us. Mention Austin Elite Rugby for 10% off all services and memberships. Keep Austin chill.
Halftime continues here at Dell Diamond, the new home of the Austin Elite here for the 2019 campaign. We welcome you back here at the midway break. Lincoln Rose, Kit McConico. Well, Kit, we mentioned patience is a virtue for Utah fans. They were the one team that had to sit back and wait to get started until here in round number 2. There are different ways of looking at it. It looks like Utah took the right approach. They were able to measure what their opponent was capable of. Meanwhile, Austin had the past 6 days to try to make adjustments after that first round defeat.
That's exactly right. Utah did a very good job. They saw some things they wanted to exploit against Austin. Watching the film from last week, they're able to do so. For Austin, it's about getting the ball out wide. Their backs just haven't seen much of the ball. They have the capability, but they haven't been able to get the ball, and it's hard to do much if you don't have it.
These two teams did meet twice in last year's schedule. The home team won on each occasion. Utah trying to steal some points out of Austin here tonight. Remember, Utah right now the only team without points on that table. That's how tight it was last week. Everybody at minimum had the loss bonus, if not the try bonus as well.
Yeah, what a week. You had 4 games decided by a combined 10 points. It gives you an idea of the parity this year in Major League Rugby. Everybody can play, no blowouts, and that is why games like this, you see it's just a 5-point game at the half, anyone's match in the second 40 minutes.
Well, Utah certainly imposed their will early on as they were able to find that opening try there. They would wind up finding 2 tries after Austin did not allow the SaberCats to punch any ball into the try zone in that narrow defeat last weekend. Let's see what Austin has in mind.
And Reece Sarnecki, who came on in face of Penny Tagive. Sarnecki did a good job. You knew Utah was going to test Tagive into the air especially, but for Austin right now, their forwards took a beating. Utah kept the ball central. Utah's going to get it out wide in the second half.
Let's check back in with Bailey Burmaster down on the pitch.
Rugby, a sport bound by tradition and fraternity, much like the city of Austin. These two work together to put together a great infrastructure on and off the field to set up a great atmosphere. Of course, if you haven't been out to Dell Diamond, you need to do it for one of these elite games. Of course, if you're watching from Facebook, tell us who your favorite player is or who you think is going to come out on top. Lincoln and Kit.
Alf Daniels' squad making their way back out. Kit, my least favorite thing about this matchup is I think the ownership groups both like each other.
The ownership group, the fans, I don't know exactly who Josh Prey is representing these days, but hey, you never know. Peter Malcolm there, USA Eagle. Austin will be very happy to have his services back. For Austin, they need to come out in the second half. They need to put those backs of Utah under some pressure. So far, Ike just hasn't had a lot. He's making the right decisions. Utah just needs to maintain that defensive pressure on Austin, because if they keep that constant pressure on Austin, Austin is going to make some mistakes.
Head coach Alf Daniels is with Bailey. Let's check in with those two.
Coach, schematically and with your lineup tonight, how would you evaluate the first half?
Happy. It's our first sit out, so happy that we've dominated some areas, but I think we could do a bit better in the second half.
What was working so well offensively for your team?
I think our scrum and our line out. And when we're patient, build some phases, we look good.
All right, thanks, Coach. Lincoln and Kit.
Thank you. Obviously, he's a big reason for that New Zealand pipeline making its way to Utah.
I could not agree with what he said more there at the very end. When they're patient, they're going through the phases, they look their best. They're getting into the hands of guys like Vani Kolo, Missile, and Lauti. Those are the guys who can really make things happen.
Underway with the start of the second half. Utah has not trailed here in the Young campaign.
Release tackler! Advantage, knock on.
You heard the knock-on call, short-lived advantage.
Lost the ball.
Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys.
Chance for Utah to strike early, but they will go with the scrum.
I certainly understand that, the way they've been in the set pieces. The scrum has been their way. For Austin, Guillemot is just on point. Any opportunity they have to go for posts, you can expect them to bring the tee out and give it to Tim Guillemot.
Bind!
I got 9 first.
Austin pinned back, obviously, here on their own 22. And they'll give it one more go-around.
You're okay here, going that way. Yeah.
Our keys to this match for Utah: start fast. They certainly did that. As far as winning the battle at the hinge, I would say that's 50-50. Austin, the defense, has done a good job. It's stiffened up from last week. They are thus far winning the kicking game.
Bind!
Yeah, no man, those front 7 can touch that ball in the scrum as it's fed by Austin.
And must come back past the heel of the number 8.
I should say touch it with their hand. It does emerge.
It's the same scrum. It's the same scrum. Remember, if I say use it, you have to use it.
That's good.
And that policy of our officials saying use it, again, goes back to player safety. You have those men locked up, all that pressure combined to keep them in that scrum when you can play that ball. Just unfair again to the player safety.
And it's literally thousands of pounds of pressure. You're looking at the weight of these men, their strength, how powerful they are.
Bind!
Safety always first and foremost.
Keep it up.
Torrealba feeds it back into that tunnel.
Oh, good run, tough meters there from Larson.
Remember Larson playing with a bloodied cheekbone as well as a nose. Able to eat up some meters. And Guillermin does put his boot into this one. That one could draw rain.
That's a beautiful kick there. That's exactly what you want. About 20, 25 meters, 4 seconds of hang time, perfectly placed by Guillermin.
Gave his teammates a chance to get down there. After the tackle, must give that ball up. A look here at Mike Mudu, the Fijian.
And Mudu is an absolute beast. The question for Mudu is what kind of shape is he in? But apparently they think he can go the entire 40 minutes of the second half, bringing big number 19 on to start the second half for Utah.
We've seen him in Australia, New Zealand, of course, the Fiji U20s, as well as the Fiji Warriors.
Mudu, 6'5", 275 pounds.
Couple minutes into the start of the second half, Austin has been playing catch up the entire time, trailing these Warriors. Scrum for Austin here across the halfway line. Torrealba on the bench last week, playing rugby since he was all of 6 years old. Former bowl winner in the Rugby World Cup sevens.
Use it, blue.
Oh, just behind Sarnecki. Not the ball, Torrealba, miscommunication there.
In touch to the American. I should say off of the American.
And those are miscues that Austin cannot afford to make in a match like this.
Max, put me up, You're going up.
Enjoying their time here in the Lone Star State.
Don't close the gap, please.
Probably happiest that they drew their match in Austin this time of year as opposed to late spring, early summer when there will be a decisive home field advantage for the Texas teams and perhaps those folks over in New Orleans as well.
I have a feeling most of these teams very excited to come down to the Lone Star State early in the season. They do not want to be here in June.
And that ball not delivered straight down that meter gap of the tunnel.
Scrum 15.
Penalty on Utah, and Austin will elect for the scrum.
Miscues from both sides. Slow start here in the second half. Austin really needs to find the opening points.
In terms of the men who factor into the scrum for Austin, again, so much has changed even in the last 6 days.
Yeah, completely different look in that front line as Shade moves over. Now the loose head prop from hooker, Tiana Rasmus, the starting hooker, and Mason Paterson. They were substitutes in last week's match.
A nice feed from Guillermin out to the vice captain, Ilan Pudik.
Yeah, Ziddy there getting a rare touch.
Back over to the Warriors.
Advantage over red.
Vandenberg takes what he can.
Use it, red.
The South African prop has done a good job for Utah in this match.
No.
Back to O'Malley.
Austin Lions standing strong. Oh, Ilan Pudik with a great tackle there.
He's a hugger. You are not going to escape that embrace.
Ziddy, the native South African who says he claims Dalhart, Texas up in the Panhandle as his hometown.
Went to college both in West Texas at West Texas A&M and Canyon, Texas, and over at Arkansas State as well. And see some of our many knowledgeable fans. Passionate fan base emerging with the deep roots again to club rugby here in the capital city.
The Huns winning a national championship just 2 years previous, and what a great history of club rugby there is here in Austin. Rugby fans, the most die-hard loyal of any sports fans you will find anywhere. Last week, a downpour, but it didn't deter the fans. They had a wonderful time. They were out here enjoying it. The only thing they didn't enjoy was the final result.
Utah was not straight with the last line out. Let's see if the Warriors can execute here. Looking for our first points since emerging from the locker rooms.
Elkington there. At the opening try, did the special needs preschool teacher. That's what he does for his day job. And the big man.
Back to the Fijian.
Mudu.
Logan Daniels able to plow forward.
Oh, what a ball. Vandenberg right there to Williams.
Warriors testing the perimeter of the elite. Austin was asking for help out there on the wing, and they wind up getting it in the form of their scrum half, Torrealba.
Torrealba right there, Luciano not letting him have a meter, and you see the power of Mudu knocking Shade back.
It's okay.
He was not impressed with the 250-pounder out of Ohio, Shade. Out wide, he's done it once. This time they have an answer for Elkington.
And you can see Utah really trying to use the power of Mudu, letting him batter that Austin line.
No offload available for Daniels. The constant Utah continues to find ways forward.
Warriors looking great going through the phases here. Good work from the Warriors, making meters. You can see that Austin defense getting tired, hands on knees.
McClellan, your lone returner on that front three from last year's semifinals. The missile.
I haven't seen Jeremy with a lot in this one. Also, Lauti, not a ton of touches for either.
It's a good contract.
Great job there from Austin, switching field.
They were willing to bend, did not break.
All the way back to Lauti.
Looking for support. Rare touch for Lauti so far from the ultimate destination, where he found himself quite frequently last year. How will this play out?
Ball touch, but 8.
Jordan has to be careful in this situation, deep in his own end.
Play on. Release tackle. Back.
Again, the elite pin back. Looking for breathing room.
Trying to relieve the pressure there. Really the only option.
Austin able to take it away at midfield. Looking to give this crowd an energy boost.
Torrealba there on the spot, doing a very good job.
Guillemot will angle this one. They'll go for a walk until it's recovered by Utah.
Like the idea there from Guillemot, going across, looking to put it in the corner. Just too much on it. Utah able to get there first.
My nose is bleeding a lot.
Once again, folks, don't forget.
And you take another look. Both Jordan giving chase that time, as did Sarnecki.
So they'll pull it back to the 5.
They don't want it. Let's go. Let's go.
Looks like Austin may bring on a big battering ram of their own in the form of Brendan Rams.
Aptly named.
Coach.
South African.
Bind. Set.
It looks like
You
Utah
go outside
collapsing
and you
the
go
scrum
inside,
there.
okay? I don't want you head with head, okay? Good.
Let's go, boys.
A little bit of gamesmanship, you could argue, there from Utah.
There's so much of that in every scrum. So many things you don't see, the little intricacies with the front row.
Go, twos. Coming in.
Austin.
Chance to measure Austin.
And Austin will get another opportunity here.
Bind.
The Warriors have kept the elite out of the try zone so far.
Keep it up. You need to hoop.
And again, the Utah scrum just coming up aces. They've been fantastic in this one.
That's twice Austin's had some set-piece opportunities at the 5. And they have not been able to come away with points. Utah, with reason, to be happy with themselves.
No doubt the addition of that size and strength. Mike Mudu assisting in that situation. It's been an up-tempo match. It's been back and forth, physical. Both sides starting to get tired. You're seeing the reserves come on. And Brendan Rams will indeed check in for Austin.
Yeah. One blue, substitution.
Ramsey, you three.
Well, this young league, when you talk about style of play, perhaps nobody has more influence in how this league will be defined than the men in the pink shirts and women that we'll see throughout these first few years, dictating pace, dictating style at times. And frankly, we've got some great ones in terms of their communication with the captains.
Fantastic officials, as it'll be Chris Shade who comes off for Rams, and Rams immediately gets a touch.
Brandon Rams.
Playing advantage.
History in Austin with both the Huns and the Blacks.
Use it 9.
Both sides of that rivalry. It's like somebody being both a Cougar and a Ute. And I'll point out, there are some Warriors who have experienced that.
They are indeed. They've seen both sides of it.
High tackle.
And a high tackle called above the shoulders. That's going to be another point of emphasis.
19.
Austin takes so much pride in their kicking game, something they focus on. They think they have an advantage over most sides when it comes to kicking.
On the line, 10 meters, okay? Yeah.
By the way, Austin, a home match last Saturday, again tonight. They have 3 more matches here at home as the schedule plays out. Toronto comes to town next week. Toronto, the Arrows are off this evening after almost an amazing comeback in New Orleans in their opener.
You talk about a tale of two halves. Down early on the road and then a furious comeback, but ultimately just not enough time for the Arrows to complete it.
Toronto's season will be a tale of two halves in a sense, as their first 8 matches on the road. If they can come away with valuable points, their last 8 matches all at home. Rams.
And for Toronto, if they can win 4 of those matches, possibly even 5, that would be a great result with their first 8 matches being on the road before they head back up home. Oh, great job there coming through. That time Matt Jensen able to get hands to it.
Jensen, the Eagle, number 506. Among your BYU Cougars.
It was inside. He's 22. Wait, I'm explaining.
Both teams, it seems, are the most eager to increase the pace of play when least convenient for Mr. DeLuca.
The ball was inside. 7 blue. 7 blue, substitution.
That look as they shut down the kick from
7 blue. Yeah, the ball was inside.
So he's
yeah, it's
Jensen able to come through.
The ball went back. and it was inside. He grounded.
Here's explanation to Luciano.
Ready.
Matt Jensen, who didn't switch over to rugby until after his service mission at BYU, yet winds up being an Eagle. That became Eagle number 506 against Uruguay.
Enough. Scrub.
Logan Daniels just didn't want to be left out.
The physicality of this match, it's been that way from the opening kick.
Time off. We have
Mason
18
Peterson
minutes.
down on the pitch for Austin, their tight head prop.
Yeah, 17:50.
Well, we talk about Uruguay again.
Now we're playing.
Coach Yarde is without a couple of those men from South America.
Guys.
Without Juan Echevarria, the prop, Andres Villaseca, the inside center, both
we have the water break,
with Uruguay for America's Rugby Championship call-up. And as you mentioned, Josh Larson, the number 5, the lock, he's off with Canada. But that's going to be something that we see all season long for these teams. I really respect this right here from Mario Luca. He's able to not only explain it in English, he's able to explain it to Marcelo Torrealba in Spanish as well. So there are no excuses for not understanding what the referee has to say.
Chance for us to check in with Bailey.
Freshman is number 2 not hooking.
Utah manager Mark Drown is telling the Warriors to put pressure on the Elite, to keep them on their toes as this clock winds down. They want to come out on top. We'll have to see if they're able to get that pressure. Lincoln and Kip.
Bailey, thank you very much. Somehow she's able to quickly ingest everything the Rosetta Stone is giving her.
But that's it. I mean, Utah must maintain this pressure on the D. Their line speed has been consistent, keeping Austin under pressure. It's going to create opportunities. We've already seen that. And if they can continue to do that for the remaining 20-plus minutes of this match, they may well come away with a victory.
The Elite trying to improve some spirits there on the sidelines during this hydration break. Lincoln Rose, Kip McConico, Bailey Burmaster with you here at the Dell Diamond in Round Rock. Again, Austin will host Toronto next week. Utah, they hope to have 4 points, if not more, in their back pocket as they will have next weekend off.
For Austin, still just a 5-point game, plenty of time remaining, and you consider what Tim Guillemot has been able to do tonight. He is feeling it. He's been absolutely perfect off the tee, and his kicks, they're not just going in, they are splitting the post. So Austin, at any opportunity, they're going to bring that tee back out for Guillemot.
So again, already some personnel changes up front, including Brandon Rams among the forwards.
Remember, you have to hook the ball.
I got it. Seconds.
Brendan sandwiched between the pair of props.
Let's go, Utah.
Coach!
Austin scrum coming out of that hydration break.
Utah's also brought in Joe Nichols. He will take over the scrum duties for Luciano, it appears, the Zimbabwe native.
That is quite some lineage over there in Zimbabwe for the Nichols family when it comes to rugby.
Every time I'm in the other side, something
Father, grandfather, both are representing. He and his brother made the trip stateside and played for this Utah team. His brother is hung up the boots, not the case for Joe.
Coach! Bind! Set!
Last time we saw a scrum, it was Austin flirting 5 meters out from the try zone. Utah had its way. Austin looking to put some pressure back on the Warriors.
And you can see Austin, it's all about Guillemot. Everything is coming off his boot. That is where Austin has had the most success.
Elite aiming for the try zone, taken away, a try saver from the missile.
Torrealba right into the hands of the Warriors outside center. It looked like Austin was headed for try time.
Oh, the red zone has not been kind to the home side.
Jeremy Misugalu able to read that one perfectly.
Rams.
No high thread!
And again, the Warriors reclaim.
The ball is inside.
Our halftime score still intact.
The Utah forwards have been fantastic in this, not just the starters, but the reserves who've come on as well. What Hilo was able to do, his lock pair with Jensen. That back row, Williams, Elkington, Cullen, also very impressive defensively.
Now Utah fans are accustomed to seeing more than 30 points on that scoreboard, one of the most prolific scoring squads 1 year ago in the maiden voyage.
The way this match started, that's what it looked like it was going to be. It was going to be a high-scoring affair. Both teams able to put points on the board early, but the defenses from both sides have been able to stiffen up, not allowing the opportunities that we saw early in the match.
Is your mark, okay?
See Derek Summers across the way, one of the many veteran officials that we will see throughout the campaign. Just 2 matches tomorrow. No Sunday matches this week. I'm told there's some other sporting event going on. And the line out, all in all, has not been a success story for either team today.
I was not there. Austin lucky that they're able to come away with it.
From number 1.
And an early knock on as we'll bring this back. You see Mikhail Romero, who was your starting scrum half last weekend.
Romero more aerodynamic this week than when we saw him last week.
Yeah. Come on, bro. Let's go, boys. Come.
Tells me somebody in the locker room has some clippers.
Opportunity here for Romero and Austin.
Former U18 champion in France.
We need to play.
And Swart, Rijke Swart, the big South African lockdown on the pitch, obviously cramping up. It appears to be the case with that left calf. His countryman and teammate Dylan Petersa helping him out, or at least attempting to.
Swart got the start today in place of Josh Larson, who again is with the Canadian national team. After Josh got the start at lock last weekend. Swart moves over from flanker. Austin shifted a few job duties, as we saw Zenny move to a center, hoping to get his hand on the ball a few more times.
Dominic Bailey started at flanker. Swart, obviously, for Larson. Jordan Vatt came in as the fullback. Some changes after the loss, both out of necessity and trying to mix things up in that starting lineup.
And the scrum collapses. They'll do it once more.
Nice hit, boys. Do it again. Let's go, boys.
Austin saw a penalty goal conceded in the 80th minute to Houston last week.
Coach!
And it went from a 20-18 lead to a 21-20 defeat. They come away with just a lone point for the loss bonus, and that's straight scrums pulled down, and in the opinion of Mr. DeLuca, it was at the fault of Austin.
Austin lost the game last week, a mistake. Sam Windsor was 6 for 6, and he made it 7 for 7. That was enough to give the victory, and Austin another mistake here as Utah making a change. Famo Sealy will come on, taking the place of Johnny Ika at fullback.
Nikki Famo-Sealy, again, the 26-year-old out of Denver, spent some time with that Raptors organization. Glendale with an academy that I know a lot of these clubs would like to rival.
Well, Utah has very good, I mean, they have that second division there in Utah, a lot of players coming through, and we've seen that. I mean, there's some great rugby in Utah. And what an opportunity it is for those players. It's been a very important feeder system, that Utah D2 League, which plays in the fall. It gives them an opportunity to come up to play for these Warriors in the spring.
Utah still possesses after the lineout. Dorialba looks for his options. And it's back to the big man, Mudu.
Oh, that's a battle right there, Mudu and Rams.
Your vice captain, John Cullen. Austin takes it back. Korkul coming off the bench tonight.
Play on.
The French front row player. Oh, Peterson over outside, facing Donahoe with the grubber.
A little magic trick there a moment ago from Mason Peterson.
Release that clear.
What hands from the front rower.
The ball is here. No, don't touch the ball. Back.
Well, Austin will get another bite at the apple here. Within 10 meters, this end of the pitch has not been kind to the home side tonight.
It is not, and what a turn for Austin.
It's a liberate.
A huge opportunity for the home side, trailing by 5 points. Neither side has been able to put points on the board here in the second half.
Captain.
We heard a call for a deliberate
Captain, shot.
For a touch there from Utah.
Go.
It's a one-score game, and the question for Austin is the sticks or the scrum?
Has to be the sticks. Guillemot has been outstanding tonight. He is feeling it. The tee indeed will come off. No doubt about that. You've got to give it to the boot. Let him do what he's done all night long.
That was Sebastian Kalm playing the role of water boy. We talk about his college rugby experience, obviously, over there in the state of Utah. Some pretty good rugby to be had as well at the collegiate level. So a chance to pull this back within 2, and Utah is down a man for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, big Mike Mudu in the sin bin with the yellow card.
For intentionally, they deemed, playing that ball forward. Guillemot's second leading scorer last year in Major League Rugby. Can he sneak that one inside the sticks? The flag stay down.
And hard to believe, Guillemot really feeling it in the first half. He was perfect, and I mentioned not just splitting the uprights, but he was sending them right down the middle. And this one, well within his range, not too difficult of an angle, but just pushes it to the left, and a huge missed opportunity for Austin.
His first miss tonight.
It remains a 5-point Warriors lead.
Let's check back in with Bailey down on the pitch. We'll have a chance to check back with Bailey in just a moment. Tight roping along the touchline.
How big was that miss? How big would it have been for Austin to cut it to a 2-point game, and the momentum that it's going to give, and it has given to Utah. We'll see how they respond.
Austin could have started a campfire and roasted some s'mores there, waiting their time.
No, hand 6. No, wait.
Austin will send it skyward. Oh, able to snag it, Lauti.
What a take there from Tulnata Lauti.
Check back in with Bailey.
Lincoln and Kidd, a little miscommunication there. The coaching staff wanted a scrum, however, the players went for the penalty kick, and that they missed that. Now they're still down by 5. Guys.
Have to imagine that'll be something they discuss, win or lose, after the match.
Obviously, the coaches wanting the scrum due to where the penalty occurred. They thought they were in a good position, but a bit surprised by that. As good as Guillemot had been prior to that kick, had not missed. The coaches wouldn't elect to go ahead and send him the tee out again, but we saw the result. Guillemot pushing it to the left.
As a result, Austin is still 2 kicks away from reclaiming an advantage, assuming they can keep Utah off the board here in the second half.
So plenty of time left in this one, but it may come down to who has more in the tank. That's just the second match of the season for Austin. The first for Utah, and we've already seen a lot of substitutions for both sides.
Use the line.
It appears that Warriors will make another. Looks like their hooker, Logan Daniels, was headed off.
Thank you.
Well, what a difference 6 nights makes here in Round Rock without the rain. We've seen some cleaner play, but still some room for improvement for both these teams looking to make adjustments during the week, including the line-out game.
Rams just unable to secure it, went to the ground, tried to come away with that line out that was not on target.
Knock on called. Again, that touch forward. It's going to be a knock on as long as it's anywhere above your knee.
And that's something that you expect a bit early in the season. The lineout's not as pin perfect as they will be as the season progresses. Those are just a few of the things that will get tightened up.
10 back on.
I don't think you want players right now asking how much time is left.
No, but we've seen that, and there's still over 10 minutes remaining, if not more. You've seen that in this second half. Players trying to get as much air as they can, taking opportunities, both scrum halves, waiting to play the ball, trying to give their sides every second.
Josh Anderson is your new scrum half now for the Warriors.
Much better there, don't close it. Coach!
And I correct myself, pardon me, that is Joe Nichols.
Set! Use it, Red.
Nichols has been with this Utah side.
Back.
Returning face.
Colin.
Another returner, the big man.
Release,
haven't seen a lot of Williams, had that second try. Hasn't had the touches, has Lance Williams here in half number 2. And a man who really needs to see the ball if you're a Utah fan, Ronnie Colo.
Some space to work with. Sprint down that touch line.
Great job fielding that ball from Sahil Jordat.
He's the fullback for a reason. As he puts the full leg into that one.
Both sides electing to play the field position game. A high arcing. Who will come away with it? Sarnecki, the reason he's in this game is because of his ability to field those kind of kicks. And another Austin miscue.
Well, if you're Utah,
punch, do it.
Again, you could make this
and if you're
a 2-score ball game.
That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go for the post in this situation. They're going to bring the tee out to O'Malley, the captain, the inside center. And this is big here for Utah.
Much easier decision than to figure out whether to pretend you don't see the camera pointed at you or to just stare it down and wave.
7.5. Excuse me, 7.
Goal attempt coming up here for Utah.
As Angus McClellan, the tight head prop, has come off, giving away to Alex Tucci, will come on to take his spot in the number 3 shirt.
Warriors still have not trailed here tonight. Their season opener. After they were spectators back in round 1. From 24 meters out. And no question about that one from Tim O'Malley.
That is absolutely huge. The Kiwi able to put it through. Utah now with an 8-point advantage. O'Malley, no trouble right there. Went down to pick up the tee before it had even crossed. And Kiaman's miss. And then the penalty goal from O'Malley.
Austin looking to inject the crowd with a bit of enthusiasm here. Looking for the quick counter.
Austin really needs something in this situation.
Keep playing advantage.
Austin still has not found points here in the second half. One missed penalty goal, the closest they've come. A couple of missed opportunities from 5 meters out as well.
Offside number 6. Offside.
Offside call against Utah.
Got to be careful. Austin cannot let this opportunity pass. They need to come up with their first try of the match.
Guillermin looking to put Austin right there at the 5 meter line for what they hope this time would be a successful line out into a driving maul. Easier said than done.
34 minutes.
You assume that's what they'll be looking for in this situation.
Brandon Rams will get it all initiated.
Oh, nicely taken, Pedesa.
Step 1 complete.
No, 100. Use it. Use it, blue.
Being told to use it now. Brayton Bach, nowhere to go.
The ball is here. The ball
Does
is
Austin have it in them?
Relax.
Or does Utah have the psychological edge at this point?
We saw it last week. Austin was in a similar situation. Houston was able to force them through 15, 16 phases, but ultimately Austin was able to get across and dot it down.
Austin quickly restarting.
Lost the ball forward.
Rams
Yeah.
lost it forward, says referee DeLuca. Hard to see as Rams covering it up. But Austin just maybe 2 meters shy of the line. And Mudu now released from the sin bin after serving his 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's off.
Here's another look. Oh, great, yeah,
Yep.
you see it. Wonderful work from our crew there.
Even more impressed by the
Yeah, it's
officials.
off. Just relax.
Able to see that live.
What a turn that is. Austin, a meter
Red
and a
one,
half
red
from
one.
the try line.
Is it here?
They're going to be talking to the man who paints this pitch
this
and
one?
possibly try to move that try line up 5 meters. That has been a burden tonight.
Here.
Tolo
This is the
Mangola
mark.
will come on.
Because of the post. Careful with it.
Utah, a lot to build on coming out of this week.
Mangola on wearing the number 19 shirt.
4 minutes more. 36.
It's a 2-score lead for the Warriors.
Some space, please.
It's their scrum.
Coach! Bind!
O'Malley ready to receive this one and put boot to ball, getting out of the danger area.
Nichols out to O'Malley.
Jordan's done a very good job as the Austin fullback fielding those kicks.
No, Alfred!
Can the Elite produce a comeback?
It's too late. It's too late. And I told you. It's too late. Captain?
Time certainly of the essence for Austin.
Guillermin mindful of that. He's just waiting for permission.
Shot.
Trailing by 8. And Guillermin, this is smart in this situation, trailing by 2 scores. He's going to go for the post. As Franco Vandenberg comes off.
Yeah. Look, we have the same time. 37, 37.
Showing off some technology. Also communicating the time with Guillermin.
It'll be interesting. Guillermin, who was perfect until his last attempt.
How short is his memory? This one just inside 40 meters. A line drive. And the flag stayed out.
And that one looked like it
Good decision, Derek.
wrapped itself inside that left post, but the officials say no. I think Guillermin saw the same thing. Here it is.
Yeah.
And the Austin fans, as that is shown on the Jumbotron, their reaction, not pleased.
Yeah, the fans just saw what you saw. Austin believes it should be back within a single score. It's a moot point.
For right now, Utah, it's about time. Taking time off the clock, not making mistakes, not committing penalties.
Hold.
Austin is really going to have to force the issue, trailing by 2 scores.
Into the perimeter.
Mason Donahoe able to keep it in.
Rams paddling for every meter.
Advantage. Six.
That advantage disappeared.
It's 6.
Reason for the subsequent whistle. Guillemot again wondering, and wow. So remember, Utah, who had already been down a man up until moments ago, again will be down to 14.
Yes, Captain.
But how much time really will need to be served?
Lance Williams headed to the bin, picks up the yellow card. Utah will be down a man for the remainder of this match. And again, Guillemot is going to go for post.
Yes. Yeah.
This from farther out. About another 6 or 7 meters back.
Well within Guillemot's range.
I know if he's at the halfway line, you're confident with that foot.
Okay, I have the same time. Yeah.
Guillemot with all the scoring today for Austin. Made his first 3. Officially has missed his last 2. Trying to make this a single score deficit. And Guillemot has missed now 3 in a row. And Utah inching closer to celebrating a victory here in their season opener.
So Guillemot, who is 3 for 3 in penalty goals in the first half, has missed all 3 he's attempted here in the second. Oh, great look there. That one almost kissing the left post as it went wide. And that's going to do it.
That kick, the final play for the Warriors. They find that opening try from Elkington, subsequent insurance from Williams. A pair of tries today.
Well done, good luck.
A total team effort for the men in their first match of the season.
Austin unable to find the try zone. All points came off the boot of Guillemot, who was perfect in the first and couldn't hit one in the second.
Reminder that you can win the best seats in the house for next weekend. Our partner, the State.
Well, the first try that Austin has conceded this season belonged to Ara Elkington. The 27-year-old out of New Zealand opened the account this year for Utah. Our man of the match here in Round Rock.
And bear in mind, there will be a bonus point for the close loss, less than 7 points. That's why Guillemot took so many of those kicks at the end. He was attempting those penalty kicks. So Austin will indeed get that bonus point.
Farnicolo
was attempting to get it, I should say.
Let's check in with Bailey. And here, just a moment, we'll have a chance to check with her and our man of the match.
Man of the match.
And let's go ahead and toss it back down to the pitch.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen.
Elkington, how crucial is it to start the season with a win?
I mean, it's like starting, it's like getting a head start, because it's just building that momentum. And if you start slow, it may take a couple more games in the season to build up. But right out the gates, if you go forward to the next game and build into the next game.
So for Utah, again, one of your top scoring teams 1 year ago, averaging better than 30 points per match. They will take a lower scoring affair here on the road. With that said, they go back home. It's a couple of weeks until their next matchup when they will head off to San Diego. For Austin, back at it 1 week from tonight, next Friday evening. It's against a Toronto Arrows squad that I think scares a lot of teams already here in the early going in their membership in MLR.
And Austin's going to have to regroup. A tough loss last week in the season opener. Fell to Houston by a single point. A tough loss here tonight. How will they bounce back in week 3?
So for Utah, they find their first 4 points on the year. For Austin, they have to settle for another loss bonus. 2 total points in the table through their first 2 weeks, looking up at the rest of the league. The Warriors come to town, kick off their 2019 Major League Rugby campaign with the victory. For Kip McConico, Bailey Burmaster, our entire crew, well, Major League Rugby season number 2 getting underway. A lot of storylines to follow. Again, I'm Lincoln Rose. So long from the Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. Round 3, we're already looking forward to you 1 week from tonight here at Dell Diamond.